Good evening and welcome to The Modern Voice. Tonight we tackle a persistent question. Should the legal drinking age be lowered to 18? This issue touches on youth rights, public health, and societal expectations, prompting strong views. Joining us are Mr. Liam Byrne, a student representative arguing for lowering the age, and Dr. Anika Sharma, a public health expert who will argue against such a change. We'll have opening statements, 2 discussion rounds, and then closing arguments to explore this thoroughly. Our goal is to illuminate the core arguments on both sides of this important debate.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. It's a pleasure to be here. My central argument is about consistency. At 18, individuals are legally adults, able to vote, enter contracts, and join the military. Denying them the right to consume alcohol, a right afforded to adults in many other contexts, is an inconsistency that undermines their status as responsible young adults. It suggests a distrust, even as we place other significant societal responsibilities upon their shoulders. Secondly, current higher age limits often lead to unsupervised, unsafe drinking. Young adults, including those 18 to 20, may binge drink in private, hidden from any form of regulation or moderation. This underground culture can be far more dangerous than consumption in controlled public spaces. Lowering the age to 18, combined with robust alcohol education, could shift drinking to regulated environments like pubs and restaurants. This could foster more responsible habits, where moderation is encouraged and supervision is present, rather than the excessive consumption often seen at clandestine gatherings. Internationally, many developed countries have a drinking age of 18 or lower. These nations don't necessarily report higher rates of alcohol-related problems. Indeed, some exhibit a more integrated drinking culture, often emphasizing education and gradual introduction rather than outright prohibition until a later age. This suggests that a lower age, managed correctly, is a viable and potentially safer approach. Our focus should be on cultivating responsibility and informed choices among young adults, not on a prohibitionist stance that has proven largely ineffective and sometimes counterproductive. It is time to trust our 18-year-olds with this right, equipping them with education to handle it maturely.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. I will argue for maintaining the current legal drinking age, focusing on public health and safety. Crucially, the human brain, especially the prefrontal cortex vital for decision-making and impulse control, continues developing into the early 20s. Introducing alcohol during this critical neurodevelopmental phase can cause lasting harm, impairing cognitive functions, and increasing the risk of alcohol dependence. We are discussing the protection of young people's brain health and their future cognitive abilities. Secondly, substantial evidence links a lowered drinking age to increased alcohol-related harm. Studies show rises in traffic accidents, fatalities, and injuries among young people where the age has been reduced. Beyond accidents, there are increases in other risky behaviors like violence and alcohol poisoning, when alcohol is more accessible to this younger demographic. These are not just statistics. They represent preventable suffering and significant societal costs. My third concern is the trickle-down effect. If 18-year-olds can buy alcohol, it inevitably becomes more accessible to even younger teens, like 16 and 17-year-olds, often through older peers in high school. This can lead to increased consumption and risk in an even younger, more vulnerable age group, effectively negating some protections of the current law. This isn't about mistrust, it's about acknowledging developmental science and broad public health impacts. Our priority must be protecting young people's well-being. The current legal drinking age is a vital protective measure. While imperfect, evidence strongly suggests maintaining it minimizes harm most effectively.
Dr. Sharma, you've underscored brain development concerns. Mr. Byrne, how do you address these scientific points about the maturity of 18-year-olds for alcohol, given Dr. Sharma's argument?
The science of brain development is valid, Dr. Sharma, and I acknowledge it. However, the issue is also about societal preparation for adulthood. At 18, individuals gain rights like voting and military service. If they are trusted with these, why not with alcohol, provided there's proper education? Lowering the age should be paired with comprehensive alcohol education, much like driver's education. This teaches responsible use and risks. The current prohibition often leads to unsupervised, risky drinking. The quote, forbidden fruit aspect can encourage excessive consumption in secret. Many countries with an 18-year-old drinking age manage these risks through education and cultural norms, showing it's possible to integrate alcohol more safely. It's about creating a culture of informed choice rather than just restriction, which can backfire.
Mr. Byrne, while education is vital, it cannot entirely negate the neurological vulnerabilities of the adolescent brain to alcohol's neurotoxic effects. This vulnerability is biological, not just a matter of knowledge. Alcohol itself impairs the judgment needed to apply that education effectively. Regarding international comparisons, cultural contexts around alcohol differ greatly. Some European cultures integrate alcohol differently, often within family settings from a younger age, which is not our primary youth drinking pattern here, where binge drinking is a larger issue. Directly applying policies without considering these cultural nuances can be misleading. What works in one place might not work in another. Furthermore, data from some countries that lowered their drinking age show increased alcohol-related hospital admissions and injuries for young people. These are serious health outcomes we must consider. The argument for rights must be balanced against these known harms, especially with a substance like alcohol.
Mr. Byrne suggests a lower age fosters responsible drinking in supervised settings. Dr. Sharma, you mentioned the trickle-down effect. How might a law change realistically alter youth drinking culture?
Lowering the age to 18 would likely increase alcohol access for even younger teens, particularly 15 to 17-year-olds, through their 18-year-old peers. Many 18-year-olds are still connected to high school social circles and could become suppliers. This is a common pattern observed elsewhere. This increased availability can heighten peer pressure on younger adolescents to drink, as alcohol becomes more common in their social lives. The current age limit, though not impenetrable, provides a significant barrier, limiting widespread legal access within the immediate peer groups of younger high school students. Changing this could normalize alcohol use earlier, potentially leading to ingrained problematic habits before full maturity is reached. The protective effect of the current law should not be underestimated.
I acknowledge the, quote, trickle-down concern, Dr. Sharma, but the current total prohibition for 18 to 20-year-olds often creates a, quote, forbidden fruit allure, leading to riskier behaviors. Secretive, rapid consumption to avoid detection is more dangerous than learning about alcohol in a more open, regulated manner. Legal access at 18 in supervised venues like pubs, where staff can monitor consumption, helps demystify alcohol and can teach moderation. This is preferable to uncontrolled party environments where excess is common. It's about learning responsible habits. As for supply to those under 18, strict enforcement against providing alcohol to minors must continue, regardless of the legal age being 18 or 21. The responsibility not to supply minors would shift to 18-year-olds, just as it currently rests with 21-year-olds. This requires robust enforcement and clear penalties. In closing, Ms. Reed, my position centers on consistency and trust. At 18, individuals are legally adults, entrusted with civic duties and significant personal responsibilities. Denying them the right to consume alcohol is inconsistent with this adult status, and with practices in many comparable nations. The current higher drinking age hasn't stopped underage drinking. It has often pushed it into unsafe, unsupervised environments, encouraging binge drinking. International examples show that a lower drinking age, supported by education and a culture of moderation, can lead to more responsible alcohol consumption patterns. Lowering the age to 18 is not about promoting irresponsibility. It's about fostering responsible decision-making by young adults in regulated settings. This change must be accompanied by thorough alcohol education and continued strict enforcement against providing alcohol to those still underage. We need a progressive approach that moves from an often ineffective prohibition towards education, responsible integration, and an alignment of rights with adult responsibilities. It is time to align our laws with the acknowledged adulthood of 18-year-olds and cultivate a culture of responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. My closing argument returns to the paramount importance of health and safety in this debate. We've discussed the serious risks alcohol poses to the developing adolescent brain, potentially causing long-term cognitive issues and increasing addiction vulnerability. These are critical concerns for young futures. Evidence strongly suggests that lowering the drinking age correlates with increased alcohol-related harms, more traffic accidents, injuries, and other dangerous behaviors among young people. These are preventable outcomes. The current legal drinking age acts as a crucial public health intervention. It is a protective measure that reduces alcohol accessibility and mitigates harm among our youth. While the quote, rights argument for 18-year-olds is noted, it must be weighed against the unique dangers posed by alcohol, especially to this age group whose brains are still maturing. When exercising the right is linked to increased public health risks and societal costs, we must carefully consider if the age threshold is appropriate for that specific activity. The potential damage to individuals and society, in my professional opinion, outweighs the arguments for lowering the drinking age for this particular substance. Our focus should be on maintaining the current age and strengthening preventative strategies, including education and support for young people. A cautious, evidence-based approach is essential for their well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne and Dr. Sharma, for your articulate and well-reasoned contributions this evening. We've explored arguments for aligning rights with adult responsibilities, against concerns for public health, brain development, and youth safety. The discussion highlights the complex balance between individual liberties and the collective good when considering the legal drinking age. We trust this debate has offered our audience valuable insights into the many factors at play. We encourage continued reflection on these important issues. Thank you for joining The Modern Voice. Good evening.